Now inside we see Thrawn continuing to mount up and get a hologram message from Enoch. These holograms appear slightly differently, with it being conjured through Night Sister technology, so it looks different to how the usual ones appear. As Thrawn enters, we sort of see it forming from the ceiling, and though it whizzes by, it's such a cool visual. Now Enoch is somewhat becoming a stand-in for Rook, and it's possible they could take things in the same way that they did in the original Legends run, in that Thrawn was actually betrayed by his bodyguard Rook, who ended up stabbing him in the back whilst he commanded the Chimera. Not to be like, I think about the Roman Empire once a day, but I did think at the time that this was similar to several emperors who were betrayed by their bodyguards. Star Wars has heavy Roman Empire influences, and even the Praetorian guards that we've encountered pull directly from the days of old. Those were known as the Emperor's bodyguards, but they were also notorious for betraying their bosses and assassinating them themselves. Now, I'm not sure if they'll go that way with Enoch or not, but his mask is clearly based on gladiatorial ones. The Night Troopers themselves could also be in line with the 9th Legion, which our editor Matt pointed out when we were working on our follow-up theory video. The 9th Legion was one of the most notorious Roman forces, but they completely disappeared off the records after 108 AD. What happened has had historians baffled for centuries, with no one being able to understand what it was that made them disappear. The story was adapted into the movie The Eagle, though we still don't know what really went on. Made up of 5,400, they seemingly disappeared on their way to Caledonia, and some have theorized they got lost in the fogs above Hadrian's Wall, others have said there was a major Celtic ambush, and this mystery has fascinated people forever. Thrawn's forces of course disappeared into this other galaxy, with the Legion possibly providing inspiration for what's happened here. Now last week we talked about the rumours surrounding the Stormtroopers, and this seems to have really taken off, with there being lots of theory videos about them being undead warriors. According to the reports, they were resurrected by the Night Sisters, which is something the witches were able to do in both Fallen Order and the Clone Wars. In those, they conjured green mists, which resurrected the dead from pods and caused them to reanimate and then attack the protagonists. I believe this is similar to what happened with Marek, and though Marek Fisto theories hit the internet, it seems like he was more just giving us the idea that the Night Sisters could do this. Looking at the timeline, he didn't appear until after Baylan and Shin rescued Morgan, and his armor showed wear and tear like the troopers have here. Now this makes me wonder if Ahsoka and the Magistrates beef goes way back before Season 2 of The Mandalorian, as we had something similar during Tales of the Jedi. Ahsoka ended up fighting an Inquisitor on that, and upon killing them their masks deflated with some smoke coming out of it. This is a similar thing to what happened upon Marek's death, and he of course was also seemingly an Inquisitor. The Great Mothers likely brought all these troopers back from the dead and fixed their armor so that they could operate in combat. The Empire's biggest issue at the moment is that they don't really have an army, as their old ways haven't worked out as long-term plans. The clones provided one, but they ended up getting rid of them and instead leaned towards going with conscripted soldiers. This meant the loyal followers who'd fight without questioning orders were gone, and once the Republic took over again, the Empire was without an army. As we know, the First Order eventually comes to be formed, but at the moment the Imperials haven't got any legions. I can see why Thrawn would turn to this in order to quickly bump up the numbers, and we've even seen how Gideon's willing to turn to cloning again in order to achieve his goals. A huge shout out to Adat Shah for pointing out this could be building off the back of the Death Troopers, created by Joe Schreiber, as they do kind of align with that.